I just want to make a different kind of video because I've been covering the topic of politics a lot lately, and mostly what I do on this channel for those who have subscribed lately is basically whatever I want to talk about. It started on games. Basically, Gamergate was what started it, but there is a movie, as you can see with the title, Troy, that I think is an underrated gem that I recently watched. And just looking at the entertainment industry and how so much CGI is used in movies nowadays, it was kind of refreshing going back to a movie where wasn't a lot of CGI effects for the big battle. Yeah, there were some digital effects and CGI, but for the most part, they heavily rely on just stunt work, practical effects, and just acting. I know that is a strange concept when you look at the movies that come out mostly these days, especially action movies. And the reason why I think just the action scenes are so good because they are so well choreographed. I still believe till this day that the fight between Hector and Achilles is probably the best fight I've ever seen between two people in a movie. Especially with weapons, I don't think that fight can be topped in any way. But it's also interesting the take that the director took with this movie, where just ignoring all of the mythical and supernatural things to the Odyssey, which Homer is most known to, and basically having a more real take on that movie is something I really liked. I know they also Ridley Scott tried the same thing with Robin Hood, basically doing an origin story with a different kind of take. I kind of liked it, but I can see why people would not enjoy this take with Robin Hood compared to Troy. It has very realistic take. It condenses basically the war to maybe a few weeks, and has a more realistic take on the entire war, if it even happened, because the archaeologists and historians kind of bicker if Troy was actually a real thing. And the acting from Brad Pitt, I mean, he was perfect for Achilles. When I was a little younger, I thought I didn't like the story in itself, but as I've matured a little bit, I can appreciate what the director was going for in this movie, and showing that both sides had some good people, both sides had some bad people, both sides made mistakes. And I especially also like how Achilles died in this movie, where it looked like he could have been a supernatural being, and this is what it was based off, and the tales were written about. And Hector, Eric Bana, also does a fantastic job of playing Hector in this movie. I really have to give him a props. He's really, really good actor. I think he really knocked it out of the park here. And just there are so many good actors in this movie, in the supporting cast, like Brian Cox as Agamemnon, kind of showing the madness of Agamemnon. And I really have to admit, going back to this movie, it's a really underrated movie. Looking back at it now, and how well it was made, I didn't have the appreciation when I was younger, when it came out, because it's been 15 years now, almost 15 years since it came out, and just going back to older movies and appreciating them for what they are, instead of relying on CGI. And also the storytelling seems to be relying so much on politics these days in movies and TV shows in general, especially coming from the West, from the US, from UK. And it's a kind of a breath of fresh air to just enjoy a movie for what it is, to see basically a tragedy that was based off of Homer, and being a very well take on that story, taking some liberties, because as you know, Homer based a lot of it on myths and things like that with the gods. So yeah, I just wanted to reflect a little bit on it. That I think Troy, really good movie. I don't know if people have watched it recently and what they thought about, or if you have seen it in general, what did you think about it? Because my opinion on this movie, because I haven't actually seen it in years, and just saw it popping up in my Netflix library, as I thought, well, I haven't seen this in probably 5 years or something like that, and wanted to revisit it. And I have to say, I really like it now compared to what I used to. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.